Hey, what is happening? It is 7:25 7:25 2021. July 25th, 2021. I looked right at the date and just went 7:25. Anyway, um so I first heard this story that I'm about to talk about on two YouTubers, Coach Greg Adams and Young Ripper. There's a story about a group, San Francisco gay men's chorus. And the first time I saw anything about this, Coach Greg Adams played the video, and they're talking about coming after your children, converting them. Now, they received backlash, and it's strange to me. People have become, gay people, trans people, I would even go to say white women, are probably the most privileged people we have currently. And so privileged that they are allowed to say things and do things. And since we've classified these people as the oppressed, that the rules don't apply to them, because society, in America at least, and in the West, you're predominantly white countries. Notice a lot of this shit has come from white people. And I don't, no offense to my white friends, I don't listen to white folks, especially with their primarily white SJWs. They have set the rules for what's offensive. They've set the rules for what we cannot think and say. Even as a black person, you're still under that slave master relationship with white people. And your white liberals are especially definitely your slave masters. They pretend, because they have to keep you at a level under them to, from what I can tell, to pat themselves on the back, because they want to. And don't follow or disagree with them and watch how they react to you. All of a sudden, I've seen I saw this white woman get in this black man's face. White woman. This is how privileged you let these people become. And yet they continue to complain how victimized they are. Got in this black man's face and told him he was a traitor to his race. This was a couple of years ago on a video. It was like a montage of, I do not remember the name of the video, but it was like a bunch of SJWs just out of control, just saying stupid shit. And there's no consequence to this. So I can assume that's why this San Francisco gay men's chorus was able to make this video. They end up taking it down, if I'm not mistaken, because they received backlash from it. And seeing this video, I'm like, there's got to be gay privilege, correct? SJWs love pointing the finger at white privilege, and they're white themselves. They're white themselves. Most of them say this about white privilege, yet they are reaping the benefits of it, but want to act like they're disgusted by it. I've seen Bill Maher did a great video on that monologue, or what do you call those? Monologue. Do they call a monologue like the beginning of the show, and then it's like, I think it was towards the end of his show. He was, anyway, it's a video clip. I don't know if it was the beginning or the end of it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But he talked about that, how white people are like putting themselves down, but don't really mean shit. It seems like it's just a way to make themselves look cool in front of their Twitter friends. I've never seen any. I could tell people I've never seen anything like this before. It's like, I can't describe it. It's like, it's so bizarre. It does defy logic. I saw this commercial recently. Was it Adidas or Nike? Shoe? I think it was a shoe commercial. Might have been a Photoshop commercial. I have to check. But the theme of the video was defy logic. And I'm like, y'all generation millennials and the Generation Z, I think, y'all defying logic on every level. It's not good. We don't need any more defying logic, because it's gotten us where we are now, where we have a Sports Illustrated issue of a trans on the cover. I'm gonna talk about that too, because women, y'all wanted this. Y'all wanted to destroy the patriarchy. Y'all wanted to destroy men and masculinity. And masculinity and the patriarchy are putting on a dress and taking over your spaces. And at first I was like, I'm at the point now where, because women was always, you're always taking men's space. Men can't have their own spaces. And it's like, oh, all you got to do is put on a dress to take over a woman's spot. And when I say, look at the privilege, like y'all, black people, you need to understand this too. Gay people have privilege over you. White women have privilege over you. Trans people have privilege over you. Regardless of skin color. They have precedence over you now. They're even taking white women's spot. And they're white men. White men, male transgender people. I can't even get this right. Biological males identifying as females are taking over the white woman's spot. The white woman was taking over the black people's spot. And it's like, you know, it's going in this weird oppression Olympics. Who can be the most, who's the most oppressed? And there's got to be a winner, right? Somebody's got to win. You stupid motherfuckers. But this is what y'all wanted, though. But the San Francisco gay men's chorus seemed befuddled by the reaction. And then they went on to say, oh, it was kind of a joke, was a satire, wasn't. You can't, look, man, people, and then they wanted to blame conservatives and Christians. And not everybody that had an issue with that were those things. I don't know why this particular generation, when you have a disagreement with them, they love boxing you in as one or two groups. Like, you couldn't possibly be a liberal and have issues with what they say or do. So you have to think as a collective, and if you don't think like they do, and it could be something you know is wrong. If you disagree with that wrong thing, you're classified as some Christian or some conservative. It's like just common sense stuff. You're labeled as conservative or Christian or Nazi or whatever the fuck, and it's stupid. Y'all can't. People already had a built-in notion that you guys were coming after kids by indoctrination and other means anyway. Your video almost confirmed some of people's fears. Like, acceptance wasn't enough for you assholes. And the fact that we keep giving people leeway based on because they exist. This is not equality. You're not treating people equally based. You're doing everything based on what you were born as, or what's between your legs, or who you sleep with at night. You can't. No one can ever tell me that equality is not attainable. We play favorites. We have and again, we give them privilege. Black folks, I'm telling you, gay people have privilege over you. Trans people have privilege over you. And white women are starting to see that. White trans men are, or what the fuck you want to call them, have privilege over you now. The Olympics. If I'm not mistaken, the story I heard, it was some woman had to give her spot to give to a trans person. George Carlin warned us about this PC culture, man. And you know, back in the 90s, I've always thought political correctness is going to be the end of us. And I know you liberals' brain, like, y'all can't fathom, like, what's wrong with equality? Y'all can't get equality correct. You're playing favorites. You've given people privilege over other people based on what they look like, skin color, and on and on. So there's whoever you consider the oppressed, you're giving them privilege over other people. And a lot of this shit is when you talk about, these are choices. I mean, if you choose to not like who you are, that's not an inflict. I was born with this skin color. Now I can call it an affliction if I want it, and then go on and try to alter my skin. It won't change who I am racially, though. So I've always said, man, you can't put a dog outfit on a cat and call it a dog. It's going to still behave like a cat. Just because you dress it up like a dog doesn't mean it's no longer a cat. But I'm going to kind of get off subject because I'm tripping off that Sports Illustrated issue where they put a man who identifies as a chick on the cover, and it's like, all that shit I keep hearing feminism talk about the patriarchy and how they're they don't want to be second class. Well, you being second class to trans people, and y'all can't say anything because y'all said y'all wanted this way. Y'all wanted to attack masculinity and the patriarchy so much so that now they're wearing dresses and taking your spots. And you can't say shit now. Are you going to tell me you as a biological woman are okay with a man who's biologically male pretending to be a female? You're okay with him taking your spot because you've destroyed masculine. Like, I don't feel sorry for you hoes. This is what y'all wanted. I'm sitting back laughing at you dumbasses. But anyway, back to the gay men's choir chorus. You should never joke about coming after somebody's kids, especially when they already had issues with maybe that's what you were doing in the first place. And and some people are going to look at that and say, you confirmed everything I feared. Talking about converting. I don't care how y'all want to address this. Like, why wasn't acceptance enough? Why are y'all pushing it? But then that's that privilege I was talking about. They felt untouchable. Gay people feel untouchable. Trans people feel untouchable. White women feel untouchable. If you have any contrary or if you have a disagreement with who they are or what they do or whatever the case may be, they're ready to call you some kind of bigot, and they want to cancel you and all this bullshit. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson can't even. I saw him and Ben Shapiro's conversation on that. I had a lot of respect for Neil deGrasse Tyson until that, and he just skated around. If you're a person of science and biology and all these things that I would assume you're basing these things off. That's why you study this stuff. You're trying to find the answers to these things so we can learn and study it and base it in fact. And Neil deGrasse just skated all over the fucking. He would not. It turned into a freedom. Like, it wasn't even it was a weird answer he gave. Like, you're a man of I mean, I've seen him get on people. I've seen him. That's what's crazy about people who are if you're religious or a Christian or whatever. It's amazing to me how quick people are ready to, with all this talk of equality and inclusion. It's always strange to me that these people who speak tolerance are so easily ready to put down people who have different belief systems and whatever their belief in is, you're ready to tear them down for it. Now, rather you see Christianity as Christian as the enemy, the Bible as the enemy, because you say they use it as a way to use it as a hate thing. Look, man, I don't give a fuck about religion or this tranny shit or any of this gay shit. I really don't. The problem is, it's when it starts to when it feels like you're trying to control people with this stuff, is when I have a problem with it. Like, you all have every right to be what you want to be. You have every right to believe in what you want to believe in. But now it starts to turn into ideology and indoctrinations. And people were okay with, look, I accept you, man, but we probably would never hang out. But I'm not going to take your rights to do what you want to do and be who you want to be. But then when people have to conform, it's like people will with a very intelligent person has to dumb themselves down to fit in with the dumb people. It's never the dummies having to become smarter to hang out with the smart people. Smart people have to dumb themselves down. So we're ignoring basic biology and science to conform to something. For what? I don't know how stating a fact about something is equating it to hate speech. How did we get there? If I said a dog barks and a cat meows, lions roar, that's a fucking fact. I don't know how, if I were to say that, that's somehow hate speech. When we do it with people. I'm getting off the topic again. Gay people, y'all, are so privileged that, again, you're able to say and do things. And then once somebody has an issue with what you say and do, you want to call them homophobic and any kind of phobic you can come up with. And you're never responsible for you. But society has allowed this to happen. If you talk about coming after somebody's kids, coming for your children, we're going to convert them, we're going to do this and that. Yeah, we kind of figure out that's what y'all were doing in the first place. We had some idea that it was coming to that. But you couldn't like leave well enough alone. You couldn't just chill and like, hey, we're more and more accepted than we used. I can tell you, me growing up, in the time I grew up, you could not, that shit y'all did on that, y'all would be burned at the stake. Y'all couldn't do that. Now it's way more acceptable than it was when I was a kid. But what you're going to end up doing is, you're going to piss off people, man. People are going to feel like this accepting wasn't enough. When you talk about doing something to somebody's kids, man, regardless if you think it's funny or it was a joke, you can't keep poking a bear like that, especially when people already figured that's what you were doing anyway. Whatever fears they had, you confirmed it in some ways with that, regardless how you meant it. But this gay privilege has allowed you to say and do silly shit, and then you get mad when people call you out on it. Now, I'm not with threatening people and nothing like that. Over it, but you can't. I, as a black male, men in general, anything we say and do, we always have to think of the consequences. But when you give people so much power that they feel untouchable, and that you can say anything against them, you're a bigot. Like, you create, it's like, anybody that has kids know if you don't discipline them, like what a kind of adult do you think they're going to become? They're not going to play by the rules. They're not going to look at things and say, at least be aware of think of other people's feelings and think of others. Because y'all not even meeting people halfway on a lot of this stuff. You want everybody to bow and kneel down to gays and trans people and white women because they're classified as something. I'm like, well, it's not my problem. You can't say treat everybody as equal and then you do this. I'm like, well, I am treating you as an equal. If anyone said this about someone's kids, coming after somebody's kids, we're coming for your children, we're going to convert. Anybody saying that are going to have an issue with that. So you got equal backlash, because anybody else would have done this, it would have been a problem. Why? Because you're gay, that you're, oh, how dare they come after, how dare they come after us? How dare they be upset? You know how sarcastic gay motherfuckers are. But it's like, dude, are like, y'all have been so protected that's why they were able to say what they did in that song. And of course, the support, anybody supporting, they go, hey, they're just joking. Probably don't have kids. Or if they do, I saw a video of, there's a woman who wanted to be a man. A man wanted to be a woman. The man is trying to breastfeed. Oh, sorry. Chest feed. I'm not doing that one. Again, y'all don't know, like, acceptance is not enough for you assholes. It's just like not enough. No, we got to change the language too. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing the pronoun things. Fuck the pronouns. I've always said when you start doing this shit, you have to accept everything that comes after that. And women, white women, women in general, the shit is biting y'all in the ass. Now they're now joining your sports, taking scholarships. That was a story a couple of years ago, a year or two ago, about the it was a high school track team, track and field. They were going for a scholarship for college. 2 or 3 black boys, teenage boys, just identified as female, competed and won. Beat the shit out of these girls. They're guys. They identified as this. Look, man, if I was a coach and I was coaching the girls' basketball team, and let's say they're in high school and the boys were at least, how tall was I in high school? Well, I'm almost the same. I've always looked tallest in my class. Let's say how tall was Shaq when he was in high school? I gotta look that up. Let's say they're Shaq height in high school, and they didn't turn around and say they identify as female. Guess who I'm picking to play every game so we win a championship? The 4 dudes that identify as female. We're gonna win every game against the biological female. This is what you motherfuckers wanted? These are the rules you dumbasses set. So y'all can't be this dumb, but you are this dumb. People are this dumb. I'm starting to see how things are when it's led by females, or when you have a female-led type of mentality. It turns into this shit. No, are men any better? Here's the thing with men, that men get called out for their bullshit. That's the thing. And that's why I give men a pass. Because men get called out for their shit. When they fuck up, men get called out for it. Women never get called out for their shit. Unless you be called a sexist and a misogynist. Women never get called out for their fuck ups. Men always get called out for them. So I'm a lot harder and harsher on women because nobody ever calls them out. Anytime you call a woman out, it's like, oh, they go to the default, you're sexist and misogynist. And it's like, but I'm treating you as an equal. The way I would criticize a man is the same way I'm criticizing you. I thought this is what you wanted. Treat you like a man when it's convenient and treat you like a woman when it's convenient. I'm confused. And then I had to realize women say a bunch of bullshit and you just have to watch their actions. Look at their actions. Don't listen to women. Look at their actions. Now, I'm not talking about if they say no, move, leave. Don't even be in a room with them. Just get the fuck out. Because even if they say yes, they'll have a regret and say you raped them the next day. Like, if you're a man of today, especially you millennials and Gen Z, I wouldn't even. If you're a male, worry about yourselves. Stay away from females, man. Do your own thing. Worry about you. Get your shit together. And not for a woman, just for yourself. But anyway. Gay people. Y'all gotta chill. I mean, y'all are the same group of people that said Ruby Rose wasn't gay enough. How am I supposed to take you gay motherfuckers seriously? And I'm still trying to figure out what do y'all, when I look at these, when people have a day and a month, when they celebrate something, usually it involves something that, for me, should have some cultural impact. Because gay people, and the reason I have an issue with gay folks in general is they've compared themselves with the civil rights movement. Nobody knows you're gay unless you come out and say it. No, everybody knows what skin color I have just looking at me. They know my skin color just looking at me. It's not the fucking same. The only similarities is being discriminated against based on certain criteria, but people don't have to know that. They know, they see my skin. This is just not the same. So when I think of the civil rights movement and how can I word this? When you celebrating something or someone based on just existing is goofy to me. Because I have to look at something and go, well, what did they do exactly to be remembered for? What is this month celebrating? Some things are for fun. Some things are to have show a significant group of people did something in history or did something. You being gay, what do you do other than exist that you feel the need, like, to have a celebration? I don't understand. Help me understand. Because a scientist can happen to be gay, but that doesn't make that person, being gay doesn't make you like have superpowers or anything. I guess that's what I'm trying to word. That's what I'm trying to word this and make hopefully it makes sense. Because what's happening, we don't have a month for straight people. I know that's like an argument where white people would say, what about our month? We don't have a White History Month. And I get all this, but then white women decided to make a month and a day. And I'm like, what do white women do? Well, women in general, what do y'all do? I mean, I'm sure there's individual women that have done things. But I'm just saying, y'all get a day and a month. And I don't know, man. I just feel like there's things that's just not that significant or exclusive to a female that makes me go, yeah, they were worthy of stuff. Because we don't do that for men. There's no celebration for men. And we build roads and buildings. Most of the things you use are man-made it. Yet there's no celebration for us. It's just as stupid to me as if it was a straight month. Like, you got a month because you're straight? And gay people, I'm saying this because there was I think Facebook one time, this guy brought a thing as a joke. Like, y'all love to joke until it bites y'all in the ass, right? Y'all can only one that can make a joke, but based on this gay men chorus, can turn and try to flip it and say this was a joke. If you joke with them back, it's you're a bigot. So they had an issue with some guy coming up with Straight Pride Month. And gay people lost their shit. And it was like, but I thought we were about equality. I thought all this shit was about equality. And shouldn't everybody have a month? Why would you have a problem with Straight Pride Month? If you can celebrate being gay, I should be able to celebrate being straight. Why is that a problem? I don't have a problem with white people celebrating themselves. I'd rather see them celebrate themselves than hear them pretend like they hate themselves to get a pat on the back on Twitter. And it's all like empty. It's just a bunch of bullshit. It's to impress other white people that it's weird. I hate myself for being white and having privilege, but don't do nothing about it. It ain't like y'all gonna do anything about it. It's not like you're gonna give up your privilege, right? You're not gonna do that. So I don't get the game you're playing, other than try to get attention on Twitter. But so the guy gets on there and says you shouldn't celebrate what you were born as. I'm like, isn't that the whole argument y'all had? That you were born gay? So if you're born gay and you saying you shouldn't celebrate what you were born as, so that means you shouldn't be celebrating anything either. So if you're born gay, you shouldn't be celebrating Pride Month. Correct? Because by the words of this response on Facebook, someone saying you shouldn't celebrate who you were like. Did you hear what you said? That makes you a class A hypocrite. Because that would mean you shouldn't be celebrating yourselves either. If you're born gay and you're saying you shouldn't celebrate what you were born as, then that should apply to you also. Like what? Y'all didn't catch your own words. So I'm like that motherfucker. Like, don't tell me to treat you as an equal and treat you like everybody else until I do, and then you have a fucking issue. Now everybody's a bigot because you did something stupid. Like, I don't know why people think gay people are above doing stupid shit. Why people think trans people are above doing stupid shit. Why white women are above doing stupid shit. I don't know why we keep acting like that these people are some perfect being. That's so strange to me. So it's got to be gay privilege. There's got to be trans privilege. It got to be white women privilege. Yet these are the very people talking about how oppressed they are. To me, a group, if you're all this pride and all this bullshit, if you are that confident in who you are, you wouldn't need me or anybody else to validate your existence. People just giving you kudos just for sticking your dick in another man's ass. There was a gay rapper, I cannot think of his name right now. This gay rapper, even he said, be more than your orientation. A lot of you motherfuckers just, you've boxed yourselves into an orientation. If you came at me, if I met someone I was working with, and their self-esteem is so low that they had to come at me with their orientation, their sexual orientation, instead of saying, hey, I'm Bill. Nice to meet you. And then I find out months, years later, whatever the fuck. I'm like, oh, I got to know this person before. I didn't know you were gay. I got to know you. I don't care. Doesn't mean anything. But see, I also don't think I should be friends with you because you're gay. Like, that's stupid to me. I don't go around going, hey, I'm black, be my friend. Like, why should I get a cookie based on my skin color? Now you're trying to, that'll be me trying to put myself above someone else based on that, and think I should get some congratulations for doing something I can't help. I don't even celebrate my birthday. I think it's stupid. Like, I didn't do nothing to get here. That my parents took care of that. I did nothing special to get here. So what am I celebrating myself for? I don't have a problem with someone being proud of who they are, none of that shit. But you can't be that prideful and confident in who you are if you're trying to force other people to like you. Because now gay people are at the point of just becoming bullies. I'm going to force you to like me. I'm going to force you to conform to my will. I'm gay, therefore you should kiss my ass. Nah, I shouldn't. Don't tell me to treat you as an equal, but you feel you're more special than everyone else just because of where you stick your dick. Or you cut it off. Of course, you're some white bitch. Who's more privileged than white women? It's what gay people are. I'll say trans. Trans right now are they're kicking white women's ass right now. You got a dude identify as a chick on a, there could have been a spot for a woman and a biologic, like, y'all not mad about this, women? Y'all can't be, because y'all wanted this. Y'all wanted to take down masculinity and the patriarchy. That's right. You wouldn't be upset over this. You know, another thing that's find strange, how ass backwards we are, how women will bitch about being objectified. One, women objectify themselves. And then the trans man, what the fuck, these trannies would get on somewhere and show off their skin. I'm like, isn't that? Like, it's okay to objectify something that's not biologically a woman. But y'all complain if you objectify a woman that's biologically a woman. It's like if you think objectification is bad, or however you perceive it, well, wouldn't it be, why is it okay for some things to be objectified and some things not? Like, you can objectify men. Apparently you can objectify trans people. But for some reason, if you objectify a woman, a biological woman, that's a problem. Who come up with these? This is why I don't listen to white folks. Majority of you motherfuckers come up with these dumbass rules and y'all don't even follow the rules that you set up. And have the shit y'all, I can't rock with y'all motherfuckers most of the time. Y'all on the next level, dumb shit. And then, and we go right back to that slave master mentality, man, where you have to, I can't conform to y'all shit, man. Y'all first force y'all God and Jesus on us, right? Your white God and your white Jesus, y'all forced all that shit on us. Most people I know don't even acknowledge that God exists anymore. But now they want me to believe that a man can be a woman. They want me to believe a man can breastfeed a baby. So much so that black man Neil deGrasse Tyson can't even state facts. I don't know how facts equates to some sort form of hate speech. It doesn't. But I'm trying to figure out, like, why do people think they're above hate anyway? Like, what makes you think you're above so much that somebody has to love you? Love yourself first. If you're trans and you don't like who you were born as, like, why aren't you forcing yourself to accept who you were born as? Why are you forcing me to accept you? You've never accepted you. You've never accepted yourselves. Then you get mad when somebody look at you sideways like, bruh, come on, man. Did you at any time say, I am okay with having a penis? I have to chalk it up to this being mental illness. Oops, can't say that. I'm going to say it. It's got to be mental illness. Anytime a man thinks he can produce breast milk because he believes he can, it's not living in reality. And they can't be mentally stable. And the video, then what I'm referring to is there was a video of a man who identifies as a female was trying to chest feed. This motherfucker's trying to breastfeed a baby, an actual baby, when he has no way of producing milk. And the baby looked newborn, or close to newborn. I don't know how many weeks the baby was, but you can't deny anybody with kids. No, you gotta eat, man. You can't deny them that nourishment. I think the woman who identified as male had a breast removal. I'm not entirely sure. In the video, they covered her. And I'm talking about God damn, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. I think we've taken this in inclusion and diversity bullshit way too far. It's not even that anymore. It's all about controlling somebody. You end up taking someone else's rights too in the process of all this. Something I don't know if the clip that I saw with Ben Shapiro and Neil deGrasse Tyson, I don't know if there's more. I gotta see if there is. The clip that I had was like a 10-minute clip and man, it was so disappointing to hear how Neil deGrasse Tyson just skated around the question that Ben Shapiro was asking him. I mean, he skated around that motherfucker. I'm like, as smart as you are, you can't state a fact without it coming. Like, it's not hate speech, man. Like, how did we get here that you have to tell a lie or dismiss basic biology and basic science, that we have to conform to stupidity when it comes to this? I've seen people argue over, is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable? But we're having debates over what a man and a woman is? We don't do this with a rhinoceros. We know what a rhinoceros is. We know what a truck is. We know what a keyboard is. Nobody's arguing those, but we say something about a man and a woman, we go into this, well, they want to be called. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about these pronouns. I just can't. Because now I gotta think of everything that comes after that. Because now you got to let them in women's bathrooms. Now you got to let them. I don't know what happens if there's a medical issue and they're biologically male and they have to take stuff. I don't know how that works. Can the hospital get sued because they did? And if the person dies because they didn't get the proper care. But we are talking about a group of people that's like less than 1% of the population. Well, what's the big deal if they're less than 1% of the population? Why would you be upset? Well, it's that 1% or less are entering and taking people's spots. You know, a woman's spot in the Olympics. Or it's denying scholarships to biological girls because they got whooped. Dude. This has gone beyond it being a personal issue and you wanting to change who you are. Again, If you have never accepted yourselves, I don't know why you're forcing everybody else to accept you. Accept yourself first. Now we got a she-male on the cover of Sports Illustrated. What biological woman was not able to be put on that magazine? Like, all this stuff is just weird to me, man. Call me a bigot. I don't give a fuck. This shit just, it's over my pay grade, if you will. I can't rock with it. Do what you want to do, man. But what the problem is now, it's interfering with, just because you cut your dick off, now it's everybody else's problem. Or if you kept it, I don't know what you did. But that just seemed like that's a personal problem, man. What's the suicide rate on that too? Like, fixing and altering your bodies didn't stop the suicides. So apparently there's something else going on that you're not happy with. And we're not treating it as a mental illness, where all these people getting the proper treatment. I'm sure that with all the attention they're getting, I'm sure the suicides hadn't declined. How people classify depression as a mental illness. To me, I was just very sad. I never thought that was a mental. I don't know. I never understood why depression was considered that. I do, and I don't. I mean, because you can be happy about something can happen in your life, and it brings you down. And I always thought, wouldn't the cause of that depression be like, I don't know. Depends on the person, but I always thought it was, when I was younger, I always thought it was weird that that's classified as depression, but I mean, classified as a mental illness or some form of, but this, if you say gender dysphoria is I mean, y'all show, when I've seen trans people, they come off showing they have mental issues. Case in point, the fucking dude thinking he can breastfeed. He think he can he has the willpower to just produce milk out of his body because that's how he feels. If there was a regular biological male, he's still a biological male. God, you see how stupid this shit is. If there was just a regular man doing that, they would say he was molesting his kids. When he was doing something, he's a creep. They would have said something off the wall about him being, well, why are you doing that to a baby? Where's your wife? Why is a man letting a baby suck on his nipple? Take that kid from him. Nope. That trans privilege allows him to do this. People don't have to hate you for who you are. You can do things to make them feel like you're trying to push them to the side because you want the spotlight. Like, someone can be like, look, man, I'm okay with what you're doing, but now you're invading my space. Or you're trying to bully me. You're trying to pressure me into something that I don't believe in. If this was religion, let's take this in the context of religion. If someone was trying to force their beliefs and God and everything on you, and you lost your job because you didn't believe in their God and their belief system, how would y'all take that? That's how I see this. A man cannot be a woman. It's impossible. You can dress it up like one, just like I said with dog and cat. You can have the cat looking like a dog doesn't make it a dog. Like I was a cat with a dog suit on. That cat will not gain the abilities of a dog because you dressed it up like a dog. If I put a bird suit on my dog, the dog is not going to be able to fly all of a sudden. But with humans, we got to play the stupid game of what a man and a woman is. Based on how I feel. If someone came to you and said, a tree, I feel that the tree is a rock. And you go, well, it's a tree. No, what I feel is a rock. And you can't say how I feel. I mean, we think that motherfucker was crazy. We don't do that with colors. We don't do that with anything. If I'm to believe, like, if you say men and women are a construct, what around us, is that the only thing that's a construct? Wouldn't colors be a construct? Wouldn't everything that we've labeled, juice, speakers, monitors, earplugs, I mean, at that point, nothing, whatever it is, isn't. If we're gonna keep playing this game, nothing. I mean, everything to me would be a construct, but we don't argue those other things, though. You know, who said a giraffe was a giraffe? Like, are we going to have that argument? Because now you got to go, okay, well, yeah. And then you go thinking farther back and like, well, maybe we shouldn't call it a giraffe. You're going to call it something else eventually. Like, humans, for us to identify things, you know what I'm saying? Or we're going to look at the giraffe and say, we're going to call it a giraffe no more. And then you relabel it. It's like you're just switching labels now. These people first came out talking about the whole male female construct, and they want to rebel against that for some fucking reason, only to then be part of the construct. If you're trying to identify as a female, you're still feeding into the construct. You're repackaging yourself doesn't take you away from the construct because you're identifying yourself as one of the constructs, a male or a female. We don't do this with male and female animals. Not to my knowledge, I've never seen one argue if a male dog versus a female dog, and they go, "Oh my God, construct. We shouldn't be calling them male or female dogs." For some reason, we keep doing that with humans. If other kin, I've seen people get mad about other kin. It's like, you are a human. You're not a squirrel. Well, how come the rule don't apply to them? Well, if they want to be a squirrel, we have sided with. We're changing our entire language, thought processes, and facts based on somebody's feelings. We're doing it based on someone's mental illness. Like, all of this shit is mental illness to me. Like, to me, treat it as such. That doesn't mean taking rights. I don't mean none of that shit. But I'm saying my rights are being taken away because I got to conform to your bullshit, and I'm not going to do it. You know when I feel why I feel this way? Think about the men who stormed into Normandy knowing they may die. They did it for the belief that they were protecting their rights and their freedoms. They said, some motherfuckers got off the boat and got shot on the spot. Didn't get a chance. They had to put enough men to charge just to get through. They died for that. They died for the right for you to call yourself a bitch. Have at it. Stop trying to take my rights away, though. Stop trying to tell me how I should call you. I don't have a problem calling you by your name, but I'm not going to sit here and look at you and go, you're a computer screen. I identify as a computer screen. Are you a human, though? So when I think about that, how much balls these people had to have to do what they did for our freedoms. I think we're too free. When I say that, I think we haven't really been challenged in a long time. And I think we're making up things to fight about. And it's like, what's the fight? That's why I can't understand. What are y'all trying to fix? What exactly are y'all trying to make perfect? Because we're more divided than we've ever been in my lifetime. We're more divided. With all this inclusion and diversity, we're more divided. So whatever y'all were trying to do, it sucks. Whatever you're trying to do, you're really bad at it. You suck at diversity and inclusion. We're more tribal than we've ever been. I've never seen this before. I mean, I've seen people, even people with different political views, I've seen them eat dinner together. Motherfuckers, y'all made... See, I think this is all planned. I say planned in that I didn't say the powers that be. It's 1984, man. We were living in 1984, like the book. We were living in it. It's supposed to be a warning, not a playbook. Oh. And people using the I don't care. The I don't care argument. Well, at some point you're going to have to care. Because if it starts to infringe on your rights, because it has to. And why why this annoys me is because these are things. This is not like racism. Stop, you trans people and you gay people, stop trying to compare yourselves to the black experience. A lot of you white bitches and white women are doing that. It's like someone said, black people have had it rough. Let us try to make an equal argument that we're just as fucked up or have been treated just like black people have, because we don't want them to just benefit. If there was a time or a chance that you look at how blacks have been treated in the past and you go, man, we need to let's try to fix that. And white women, gay people, and trans people are like, oh no, we can't. We can't let the blacks get all the benefit of being a victim. Let's call ourselves victim too. And let's inflict it on ourselves. And what I mean by that is, again, my skin color was, I had to accept it. I didn't choose it. That's what I was born at. And you may argue, I didn't choose to be a female. I didn't choose to be a male. Fine. You can change. There's surgery out there for that. My problem is, it's now become, you're going to bully people and change language and do this, where you could have just done whatever it is you do to make yourselves happy. In the process, you're trying to force people into a position of, I mean, people have lost their jobs and been canceled over facts. While we're trying to give rights to some people, now you're taking rights from others. That's not fair. Well, life's not fair. But don't preach about tolerance and inclusion and diversity because you see certain people as the enemy and therefore they don't count. Their rights don't count. You can't have equality and inclusion and diversity when you do that. When you've made a group out of certain people, enemies out of certain people, and then you want to reap all the benefits because you've painted yourselves as victims, or society says you're this. But it's like, you chose this though. I didn't choose this skin color. Now you may argue you didn't choose who you were born as. But you know what I don't do? I don't try to change my skin color. I try to look in myself and say, what about me that I accept? What do I like about myself? What do I do? How do I make this life? There's one life I have. Let me make the most of it. By accepting myself. First, let me love myself first. Let me do, and then see what it is that you do. If you have talent, it's whatever it is. But when we start altering your body and then you're still not happy, why is that my problem? Why are you trying to change me and everyone else when you never took the time to check yourself and see what your bad habits are, what it is that makes you who you are? What I'm trying to say is, there's a lot of trying to change other people, and the person that's trying to change you have never changed themselves. They never worked on themselves to make themselves better people. It's always someone else's fault. Now you may argue, well, I am being a true me. That's why I'm getting a surgery and all that stuff. Again, great. The problem is we have to deny basic biology and science over you. You don't think that then why even come up with facts about anything else then? Like, why is this one thing we have to deny? Like, what's the point of anything else then? Why do we study anything? Why do we try to find the meaning to things? Why do we try to find the facts to things? Why do we try to do anything if we're just going to go, defy logic, doesn't matter? Who cares? I don't care. Who cares? Who cares is why we're in the position we are now. That's why we've got all this confusion. We have gay privilege, man. We have trans privilege. We got white women privilege. And they keep saying how victimized they are, while bullying you into believing in something that you don't want to believe in, or that you don't want. And that's what I mean. Like, you should have, as long as you're not harming someone or taking someone's ability to pursuit of happiness, whatever my beliefs are, or whatever my facts, facts are facts. We're trying to deny facts, basic stuff. You don't think people identifying as something is eventually taking someone else's, you're replacing it with someone else. Why are you taking away from me or anyone else to give to somebody when they, I don't know, man. It's this frustration. It's frustrating. Like I said, when smart people have to dumb themselves down to fit in with dumb people, it's like, how do we get here? How come? It's just like Darius Miles, for example, went to the NBA. Instead of his friends and people in his neighborhood trying to elevate themselves to be better people, he goes and he doesn't do that. He goes and dumbs himself down to fit in with his old crowd. You will see. Now I can only speak because I'm in a black neighborhood. Or black community, whatever you want to call it. You might have the black nerd in the class. He may be the smartest. They always give him the homework. Hey, man, can you do my homework for me? Help me pass this test. Instead of them trying to be like him and study more and try to be bright as he is, they just remain dumb and just give him the work. And then if he wants to fit in, to have friends, he has to try to be cool. So he has to dumb himself down to have friends, just to be accepted by the dummies. It's never the dummies trying to elevate themselves to be accepted by the smart people. And that's how I'm seeing all this. We're taking basic knowledge that we know and saying deny that because we got to dumb ourselves down to fit in with and conform to one less than 1% of the population. Again, this has nothing to do with taking anyone's rights, but it's like, why am I having to conform to your ways? You're not the majority. Like, how the fuck did this get to, how did it get here? How did we get here? And gay people, y'all, gay men's choir, chorus. Don't joke about coming after people's kids. Don't talk about converting. Like, people be like, Luma, I accepted you, man, but now it's like, here's this line you don't cross or you're going to get this. And you're shocked by the backlash. That throws me. Same thing with you white women. They wanted to take down the patriarchy. Now that the patriarchy is put on a dress, you're like, oh, you're shocked. This is the things you fought for, though. You wanted men to be like bitches. Your wish has been granted. I'm hearing women complain about men not approaching them. Well, this is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. You wanted men to stay away from you. You didn't want to be men are all these they're creepy from trying to talk to you. I'm going all over the place because it seems like all this ties into itself. Like, when I think about privilege and how everybody wanted to attack the white man for his white privilege, I'm like, but white woman, you're white. I don't know how you just deny that you're white and privileged by then putting it on a white man. And a white gay person has more privilege over you black people. A white trans person has more privilege over the white woman and the white man and black people. You know what I'm saying? It's so weird. If you put all this in the context of religion, dude, I don't think anybody would fall for this. This is no different to me than religion. Anytime you're trying to conform, get people to conform to something that they don't believe in, or you're trying to almost brainwash them into believing things that we see as not true. Like, I don't see how you don't see the similarities. These people who want to say Christians and conservatives and all these people are this way. I'm like, do you not see that you are projecting? You are the very thing that you call these conservatives and these religious people. And this is why they warned us. This is why they had these issues with this stuff. Because look where we are now. There's a lot of this too is like self-esteem issues. It's a lot of wrong with all this stuff. We're telling people to not accept who they are. Become something you're really not. If this was racial, this wouldn't fly either. There would be a lot of people who would have a problem if you were trying to change your skin color. Wasn't that, what was that, 10, 12 years ago? How long ago was that? It was this chick, she was getting tans, like it was so bad. And this is what I don't understand. And the same thing they did with that white chick who was in the NAACP, who she classified herself as black, and dumbass black people fell for it. And it turned out she was just a straight up white chick. Black people love accepting people that don't look like them. It's weird. And they make fun of people that do look like them. Again, I grew up with that shit. I used to see a lot. What was that? The NAACP woman? Oh, the chick with the tan. I think they checked her into a mental hospital because she was, and this is a person just getting a tan. Like, she was overly tanning herself. And I think she did have some issue, but it was like how a person tanning themselves. We look at, they had to check her to get, see if she had any mental issues. But if a dude says, I feel like I'm trapped in another body or someone else's body, like, you don't raise an eyebrow. And I think this is honestly some white man's fantasy, or white woman's fantasy too. This trans stuff, some fetish. You ever hear white people? Y'all motherfuckers get angry. Like the shit I'm saying, you motherfuckers get pissed. It's hilarious. That is a woman. Motherfuckers got a penis. What are you talking about? It's a woman. They did that with what's that motherfucker, the MMA fighter? Had kids with a woman. It was a man for years, and then decided to identify as a female and fought female MMA fighters, and y'all are cool with that. Stupid motherfuckers. This is definitely white man's world, because white people's world, because women, y'all just as fucked up. White man and white woman's world. But yeah, you motherfuckers get mad. But y'all was saying he was a woman, even though he was a man that had children with women, with his wife. Y'all say even then he was still a woman. What do y'all say to the people that's beating you in your own sports? Are you still going, well, until they come home and kick y'all in the ass, y'all accept a lot of bullshit till it kicks you in the ass, and then you're like, oh shit. I didn't know that was going to happen. We didn't have the foresight to see this might be a problem. Look, man, I've never been a religious. No, I'm gonna take it back. I used to be very religious, and then I saw religion was nothing but, to me, a form of mind control. This shit too is also a form of mind control, so I don't like either one of them. I'm not a fan of religion. I'm not a fan of this shit. It's just like religion. Y'all just not using God as a weapon to try to control people. You're using other means to try to control people. Anything that does that to try to take away your freedoms. Now, you may say, again, I'm not about taking someone's freedom to be what they want to be. If you want to be a box of cookies, that's your right. There seems to be a consequence with that, though, because you're taking the rights of someone else. And now we're enemies. We're going to have a big fight. When people feel like you're getting ahead of them based on that. Like I said, black people, understand this. Trans people are ahead of you. They are going to have more rights than you'd have. White women have more rights. Well, they always did. But they're trying to put themselves in the same category as being in the same category as the oppressed black woman or black man. And you motherfuckers are okay with that. I mean, majority of y'all did vote for current president. The fact, and let me tell you how slave mastery, how this slave master mentality is with black people to this day. You motherfuckers want to, you know what I noticed with black people? They will go after, God, I'm all over the place, huh? Because this all liberal stuff, and I don't give a fuck about conservatives or liberals. You both are assholes. I don't give a fuck about either one of y'all. Because either one of y'all in position of power are going to abuse it. Black people will. I wrote this down because I wanted to. That might be just for another thing. I might just do a podcast on that. Who was that actress that told 50 Cent he better vote a specific way? It was 50. Yeah, 50 Cent was gonna vote for Trump. Some white chick, your slave master. 50 Cent, black people will go, and that's why I don't give a fuck about pro-blacks, none of that shit. Because they go after their own people. They don't go after the people they say are causing this issue. The man, the white man, they never go after him. They go after the easiest target. That's usually another black person. That's always has always been. Now you can say it's Jim Crow and all that. You're supposed to, like at one point you got to go, okay, we're not under that. When do you break free of that? With all this knowledge you have now, why are you still going after other black folks? Anyway, this old ugly white bitch, this actress tells 50 Cent who he better vote for. This is supposed to be your... Remember how you ever hear white people talk about how, especially white SJWs, everything that they say about colonialism and how they're so upset with how white people have been over the years, and will use their white privilege to control you. They're full of shit. And you black motherfuckers keep listening to these white motherfuckers. That's why I don't listen to these white motherfuckers. They're not going to tell me a man can be a woman. They're not going to tell me that. They got Dwayne Wade calling his son a daughter. We know in the black community, we don't really accept this shit like this. For the most part, we don't. When I look at rap music, how there was all this rebellion against the things they used to see, where black people had got tired of being told how to talk, how to speak, how to do, and what to do. And you letting 50 Cent goes and listen to this chick tell him who he's going to vote for. Like, yeah, your slave master. And that's supposed to be a liberal woman who talking about, don't you know you're black? You let a white motherfucker tell you that? We're still under that slave master mentality, man. You let a white woman tell you who you're going to vote for. I would have told that bitch suck the blackest dick you can find and fuck you. A lot of these black people don't have a problem going after their own people, like I said before. You gonna let a white bitch tell you who to vote for? And reminded you that you're black. Like the Democrats, dude, like the Democrats really did shit for black folks. I mean, aren't we in it pretty much the shit that you hear black people talk about? Aren't we like nothing has really changed? Democrats already, they don't have to cater to black people because they already know you're going to vote that way anyway. So like they're going to vote this way anyway, so who cares what they really want? If they want anything, we'll give them breadcrumbs to look like we're on their side, but we don't really give a fuck. I'm not saying conservatives is the other way to go. Be independent. At least be independent. But you motherfuckers, how'd I go from the gay choir, the gay chorus to this shit? Because it's all these liberals, man. All these liberals are trying to... It's like the sheep in the wolf in sheep's clothing, in my eyes. That's how I see liberals and Democrats. They're the one in power right now. If this was conservatives doing the same shit, I would talk about them. But the people claiming... The thing with conservatives, though, I know where they stand on shit. Democrats are like, they're very conniving and sneaky while controlling you. Look how they're trying to control anime. They're trying to tell Japan, how y'all say people of color. There's no different than saying colored people. Don't you stupid white motherfuckers understand that? You just reverse the words. To me, it's just as offensive. You say people of color. If you switch around, you just say colored people. Are y'all that? Well, do you blame the buyer or the seller? Cause motherfuckers, you black folks are bought into that people of color shit, and like just reverse the words. It's colored people. Yeah, that's the thing I would do want to talk about. Make that a whole separate thing. But yeah, y'all let your white slave masters tell y'all who to vote for, who your heroes are and all that stuff. Yeah, but gay people, there's gay privilege. Anytime, again, gay people can say Ruby Rose wasn't gay enough. Anytime you can say we're going to convert your kid. Again, y'all say it's a joke, but if we joke with y'all that way, we're bigots. Like imagine a reverse of that, and it's the straight men's chorus. And they made a joke about what they would do to gay people to convert them to straight. Holy shit, it'd be World War 20. World War 20. World War 3, man. If that was straight men chorus talking about converting you to straight, holy fucking shit. So you have to have you got to have privilege to be able to do what you did and then act like people are just supposed to accept it. Because you wouldn't accept it the other way. Right? Gay people. Gay folk. If there was a straight man's chorus talk about converting you straight, you motherfuckers would have a hissy fit. Correct? So why the fuck do you think anyone... You talking about coming after someone's kids, coming after your children. We're going to convert them. And we can say the same thing. Oh, it was a joke. Just a joke. We're not going to really convert you. Oh, we're just joking. It would not fucking fly. Stop it. You know it wouldn't. You motherfuckers would have a fucking fit. So why the fuck do you think what you did wouldn't also have people upset? Think about it in those terms. That's what I mean. We're never going to meet halfway on a lot of this shit. Because one side you got one side saying they have to conform to something they don't believe in. So there's no middle ground. It's either our way or no way, or their way or no way. It's their way or no way. They want to cancel you. They want to call you phobics. Because you are to believe they're the oppressed, protected class. That's not equality because not everybody's protected. You're showing favoritism. There's no way. You do have gay privilege because there is no way it could go the other way around. I'm gonna say this again. If a straight man's chorus from Texas or whatever the fuck, from the South, if they made the same song you made and said it was satire, why y'all taking this seriously? It's just a joke. There's no way you motherfuckers would, okay, that was funny. Y'all wouldn't do that. Y'all would have a fucking fit. Y'all will also threaten them with something. Liberals are these people, white, all you motherfuckers are like the type of people that are like, I can do it to you, but you can't do it to us. That's y'all mentality. I want everybody to understand this. If this was straight people doing this, then the exact same way they did this, that we're going to convert you to straight. We're going to, oh my God. This proves, or at least one of the things that shows me that y'all do have privilege. that gay people do have gay privilege. That alone, to me, shows how much privilege you gay people have. But I got to hear you bitch and moan about discrimination and shit. It's not perfect, but nothing is. But goddamn, don't poke the bear and then get mad when people react the way they did. When you would do the same thing if this was straight people telling they were going to convert you to straight. You would not enjoy that. Take every word you said in your song, but flip it to straight, and tell me if you would be okay with that. And they just say, "Oh, it was just a joke. We're just kidding." Of course, we're not going to convert you. We can't do that. I don't think nature I don't think nature ever intended people, animals, or anything to be equal. Humans, we can't get that. We can't get that right. When you have people having certain rights over another person, there's no way you can make equality out of that. You can't. Your idea of equality is taking who you consider the oppressed class. That's who y'all say needs a leg up. And this is not like a black kid coming from a bad neighborhood and he has no opportunity. And you go, man, this kid needs an opportunity. He needs a leg up. Let's help him out. That's long gone with gay folks. And I mean, y'all can marry. I mean, but again, y'all way more accepted than you were when I was growing up. Y'all couldn't walk down the street saying the shit that y'all say. Say that, do that song in back when I was growing up. What happened, bruh? And yet it's not enough. The acceptance is not enough. Y'all want to poke the bear. Y'all want to push buttons. When if that was the reverse, and we said it's just a joke, why y'all taking it so seriously? You motherfuckers would, oh my God. But y'all always play the victim. And people are getting sick of it. People gonna get tired of this shit, man. People are, if they're not, I know I'm one of these people. I'm sick of this shit. I've never seen people who get everything handed to them and still bitch. It's never enough. And that's the problem when you start treating these people as such a protected class that they can do what they want, and then don't think that I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm gay. I'm trans. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I don't have to play by the rules. Rules don't apply to me because I'm the oppressed. I'm white. I'm trans. I deserve to have more rights than you. Because I don't like my dick anymore, I have more rights than you do. Because I fuck another dude up the ass, I have more rights than you. That's how that shit sounds to me. And then you do that song, whether you're joking or not, because straight people couldn't do that song and say we were just joking. Correct? Just, could we? And you be okay with it? No, you motherfuckers, panties would be in a bunch. So you do have gay privilege, you do have trans privilege, you have white woman privilege. You definitely do. But I gotta hear you motherfuckers bitch about white male privilege or male privilege. Like, you motherfuckers are pretty privileged if you ask me. Anyway. Went long. Stop the bullshit, people, man. Just... This is no longer about equality. This is all about control. This is all about control. It has nothing to do with equality anymore. Never did. I don't think it ever did. But that's what humans do, man. Humans try to find what is the best way I can fuck over another group of people, whilst claiming they're trying to be diverse and inclusive. Y'all inclusion does a lot of excluding, I noticed. Y'all so-called inclusion does a lot of excluding. Y'all talk of tolerance. There's a lot of intolerance going on. So, you so-called oppressed, you white women, you gay people, you trans people, look in the mirror and try to point out what you need to fix about yourselves. Stop trying to fix everybody else. Why don't you worry about you for a change? Or maybe you do think about yourself. Maybe this is narcissism. Maybe you think about yourselves too much, or you wouldn't be trying to force. I don't know. I would think someone, again, I always bring up that if you're confident in who you are, if you're prideful, you have all this pride, you would never need to try to convert or change someone else. You would just be proud of who you are and leave other people alone. But that's not enough. You live in a country. Go to another country with this bullshit and see how it fares. Y'all live in a country that affords you these rights, that lets you do what you want to do pretty much. And they're still complaining. It's never enough. And watch this stuff going with that Sports Illustrated. That's not going to be enough, man. That is never going to be enough. You talking about overrepresenting people too? Overrepresentation. That representation shit is stupid to me. Cause it's like, I used to hear that, oh man, it's cool to see somebody, I could get to see myself on screen. No, you don't. You're looking at somebody with the same skin color. That is not you on the screen. Because now we have technology where you can put yourselves on the screen. Like literally. You can literally do that. With the technology we have today and some of the free sites, you can actually make your own movies. And you can actually put yourselves on the screen. You can literally do that. That's why I'm so confused when I hear people talking about representation. Motherfucker, represent yourself. This generation is about you do it. I'm going to complain about it and you do it for me. And to me, you have to have the lowest of low self-esteem. That's why I say confident people don't worry about this bullshit. Confident people don't worry about representation. You know what I used to do when I was a kid? I was a kid. I would watch He-Man. I would watch a lot of these shows. I didn't worry about the skin color because the thing I noticed with when they do white male characters is that there's no limit to how you can. There's no limit to the character when it's a white male character. There's nothing really holding that character back. When they do women, black people, there's something holding them back. And that's usually their skin colors holding them back because you feel like you have to make you can't just make a black character and write them well. You have to do something that surrounds his skin color, where you end up limiting a fantastic character because you're doing it. You're creating characters based on their skin color, and they won't be fleshed out because you're making it on their skin color. Same thing with women. You're doing it based on the fact that they're females. You can't just make a character that happens to be female. You always keep trying to make the character female, and then it is a falling apart. And now we have these one-dimensional female characters where they're trying to be like men, which is weird. They don't embrace being women. They embrace being men in a woman's body. And it's not even a trans thing. It's more of a, let's have women act like men. Let's take the masculinity out of the male character, put it in the female character. This is so stupid. But when I was a kid, though, I didn't see a lot of black characters. I just made my own. And while still being able to enjoy He-Man and other shows with white male lead characters. Same thing with Luke Skywalker. I didn't give a fuck about his skin color. I thought he was a good character. I didn't care about Ripley being a female. I thought she was a great character. Same thing with Sarah Connor. I can relate to those characters as a parent. So I'm just so confused on what it is y'all trying to fix. I'm so confused on what the fight is about. And what has happened now, black people especially, they're selling all this diversity shit. It's a marketing tool now. It's not even about helping people. It's a marketing tool now. I think it's always been a marketing tool. I don't know who they're marketing to because it annoys me, and I'm black, and I'm telling you, it annoys me. All this diversity shit is annoying to me because it's artificial. There's nothing genuine about it. Disagree with these people, and you're black, and watch how much of a slave you are to them still. These so-called people trying to preach diversity and tolerance. Disagree with anything they say and watch they treat you like a slave. But you assholes fall for it, though. You think they're for you. No, they're not. They're for themselves. They're going to tell you how black you need to be. I remember being at work. Did I put that down? Because I wanted to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about today. Shit. I remember being at work one time and an old job that I had. And I like rock music. And white dude, he just thought it was hilarious that a black man listens to rock music. I'm like, I don't understand. Music is music. Why do you feel like I have to be? So it's like, oh, you're black, therefore you should only. No, this comes from a white motherfucker. Again, this is why I don't listen to you white motherfuckers. This is another reason why I can't stand a lot of you white motherfuckers. Particularly white liberals. This motherfucker gonna tell me what music he think I should be listening to because I'm black. I'm like, fuck you, Whitey. I'm gonna listen to what the fuck I like to listen to. There was another dude I worked with. We were cool, but it was like, white people can listen to rap music and be cool, right? If you're black and listen to any other type of music, you get looked at sideways. It's strange. It's so strange to me. I'm like, it's just music to me. I did not know I had to listen to certain music based on my skin color. I did not know that. I did not know that was a thing. I didn't grow up like that. I grew up listening to whatever the fuck I like. I'm listening to it. And I think black people put themselves in a box because they feel like they have to, whatever, keep their black card. It's so dumb. You can't be keeping your black card while letting white people tell you who you're going to vote for. You're not that black. When a white motherfucker can tell you who you're going to vote for, and you're not black enough. What the fuck? You think I'm gonna listen to a white motherfucker tell me that? White motherfucking kiss my dick. Fuck y'all. What the fuck? I don't sound with that bullshit. Anyway. A white motherfucker gonna tell me what the fuck I can listen to. Fuck you. 50 Cent, dude, you let a white bitch tell you who to vote for. That's amazing to me. Anyway. God, I was all over the place. Gay dudes and shit like that. So there is gay privilege. Because if there wasn't, I don't think they would have made that. I always look at things from this perspective. If the other person can't do it, one, that's not equality. There's favoritism. But if one group can do something and the other group can't do it based on certain criteria, then there's no way you can achieve equality and inclusion and diversity and all that bullshit. When someone gets a pass and then they do the same thing you did and they get crucified for it. How the fuck do you play this game that you're fighting for equality? There's no way you are. That you can't be. It's all bullshit. You're not that tolerant. Because if you were, then everybody should be able to do the same thing. If gay people can make a joke or song about converting gay kids into whatever, and the straight man's choir did the same thing, and we all should be able to laugh at each other's shit, right? That'll never happen. As long as you keep classifying people as, or you're a victim because you're this. That sounds strange. Like, it's almost like this. You're a victim because you have this affliction or whatever you want to call it. A lot of time it's a choice. Now, you can say you didn't choose to be gay, but people do definitely choose to cut off their dick or become a woman or become a man. That's a fucking choice. I mean, if Pac-Man is trapped in your body, you decide to try to change yourself into looking like Pac-Man. Anyway. Okay, I think I'm done bitching. Just stop with the equality talk. If you're about tolerance, then stop speaking and actually be about tolerance. A lot of you people preaching tolerance are very intolerant of other ideas, debate, If they're not conforming and kissing your ass, then you want to call everybody a bigot or racist or sexist. I'm like, well, if you're not leaving room for in the debate, if you're not trying to see my side of things, but you want me to only see your side of things, then that's, well, it's not tolerance, and that's not going to ever achieve any form of equality. And if you're thinking as a collective, how can you celebrate diversity if you got everybody thinking and trying to look the same way? Like, if you're trying to conform someone to a specific thing, but you're preaching diversity, where you can't have diversity that way if everybody's the same. Especially if you think the same. There's no diversity in thought. So you couldn't possibly be preaching diversity. Can't be the same. I mean, you cannot celebrate diversity when you try to make everybody the same. So, end on that one. Yep. All right, I'm done. All right, peace.